Alright guys, so this is a very cool looking card trick, and this is what it looks like. So, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the many famous tricks of the magicians cutting to any four of a kind in a deck. Well, I'm sure you've all seen that before, but I'm sure that you've never seen it done with the deck shuffled face up into face down. That's right. I'm going to try and make this trick as hard as possible for myself. So I'm just going to be cutting to any four of a kind, but I'm going to try and do it within this mess of face up and face down cards over here. So let's see which four of a kind we're going to cut to. Let's just cut to like the 4 nines. All right, that's fine. So every time I cut to a 9, I'll set it down here on the table just so that we can keep track of which ones I've cut to. So that's one right there. Let's see if I can cut to another one within this mess. So we got 1, 2, 3. All right, I think I got it right there. And there's the next 9 right over there. So there's the second 9. Now, the third 9 is a little bit more tricky. I think, God, I think it's like right about here, just like that. The third 9, just like this. And the last one is always the hardest. So I think if I can do this right, I think we got 1, 2, 3. All right, here it is. 4. Oh, queen. That's not really okay. Well, yeah, that's not really the 9. Okay, I'll tell you what. I think what I can do is this. If I wave my hand over this queen slowly, you'll actually watch it become the last 9. That would have been a pretty good trick, right? Well, you see, instead, I actually turned these cards into the 3 queens, just like this. So now I have the 4 queens there. And remember the deck that was shuffled face up into face down just a moment ago? If I set it on the table and snap my fingers, the entire deck goes back to normal, except for 4 cards. The 4 9s, just like this. So that is the trick, guys. And now for the tutorial. Alright guys, so here's the tutorial for the trick that you just saw. So the only downside to this trick is, yes, it does require a little bit of a setup, but don't worry guys, you actually can use this for a great opener. And trust me guys, this trick is definitely worth the setup. So basically, this is going to be the tutorial for it right now. All you're going to need to get out are just 2 4 of a kinds that you want. So I just got out the 4 9s and the 4 queens. So basically, here's the quick little setup. It really isn't even that hard to do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my 9s here as the cards that I initially cut to find the 4 of a kind within the mess of the deck. And I'm gonna use the 4 queens as my kicker cards, meaning that these are gonna be the cards that I later reveal were on the table the whole time. If I'm starting out with my 9s, I'm going to take one of the 9s here, and I'm actually going to take the 9, and I'm going to place it upside down on the bottom of the pack. So now I have one upside down card, which is actually one of the 9s on the bottom of the pack, just like this. So that card is there. And now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 4 queens, and I'm going to take each of the 9s now, and I'm just going to place them in between each of the queens. Basically just sandwiching each one in between the queens, just like this. So when I square it up and spread it out, you will see we have queen, 9, queen, 9, queen, 9, queen. Just like that. That's exactly what you want. And this goes right there on top of the deck. And remember, you still have that face up card on the bottom. And that is the entire setup for the trick. So how you start out the trick is you can give it just a normal riffle shuffle. Just be sure to keep that bottom card on the bottom and your top stack on top, just like this. So you can give it a couple of shuffles, just make sure to not disturb the order. You can give it some false cuts, whatever you guys are up to. So you're going to start out the trick by telling the spectator how they've probably heard of magician can cut to any 4 of a kind they want to. And you're going to say, but I'm pretty sure you've never seen it done face up into face down. As you say this, you're going to hold the cards just like this, and you're going to break the cards in half. It doesn't really matter where, just break the cards in half. And what you're going to do is you're actually going to be flipping over your wrists at the same time, and this half is going to be turned over. But it really does look like you're just taking this half and turning it over. So you can even add that little point in there with your index finger, just say, I'm pretty sure you've never seen this trick done face up into face down, just like this. And that's really cool misdirection. You're basically taking this wrist, flipping it over, and this wrist also flipping it over. And at the same time, it just looks like you're taking this one, flipping it over, or just pointing to it. They don't notice that this one is being flipped over just because of the top card's orientation, just like this. So now you can take the cards, and when you shuffle them, just be sure to give them a nice pharaoh shuffle, but do not give them a normal pharaoh shuffle right in the middle. you want to give them a pharaoh shuffle pretty off so that the back of these cards shuffle to the front of these cards over here, because you have your entire top set up on top here, and you want to keep that bottom card on the bottom. So be sure to not disturb the order of this top stack. And how you do that is you give them a pharaoh shuffle. Just do it on the very edges of the cards, just like this. And if the spectator sees cards getting interlaced with each other, that's automatically, in their mind, that's automatically, you know, the cards are getting shuffled. So you can show this and then kind of turn the cards over and just kind of slowly push them together. And that really gives the illusion that the cards are getting shuffled face up and face down, but in reality, the cards are actually completely normal and exactly where you started from. So now, basically, it looks like you've shuffled the deck face up and face down. And what you're going to do now is you're going to take your thumb here on the back left corner, and you're going to riffle up 2 cards. Just 1, 2. Get a pinky break and hold that, just like that. So hold a break. And now you're going to transfer this to a thumb break. And what you're going to do is you're going to swing cut about half the cards over into your other hand, and you're going to drop off these 2 cards on top of that half right there, and just hold a break, just like this. And now you can catch another thumb break, basically with those 2 cards, which are now on top of this half over here. And now you just cut small portions of this half, basically just double or triple undercutting this half to the top. And once you finish, you just take all the cards from the break and set them on top. And now you have a 9 here. So you're just going to pretend like this is a random card. So just be like, we'll cut to, okay, the 9s, for example. Just kind of act like it's random. So now what you're going to do is, this is your setup right here. You actually have a face down card here, and your queen is right below this 9. You're going to get a double lift ready so you can flip over these 2 cards at once. So how I do that is I just riffle up from the side until I feel the 2 cards together, just like this, and I flip them both over at the same time. So I can set the top card down, which is actually a queen. So I set this card down and I say, every time I cut to a 9, I'll set it down here so that you can keep track of them. That's perfect. You're done with that part. So now you have 2 cards here, which are actually 2 9s, and then you have the rest of your queen 9 set up here on top. So now you're going to do the exact same thing again. Literally the exact same thing. Nothing is different. You're going to take 2 cards from the bottom, catch a pinky break, catch a thumb break. Take about half the cards, swing them over, drop the 2 cards on top of this half over here, and then catch another thumb break as you triple undercut this bottom half to the top. Boom, just like that, and then boom, you cut to another 9. Do another double lift over here. It's the exact same thing, Do another double lift, take the top card, set it on the table. This is now another queen, and now you have 3 9s over here, just like this. And now you have queen, 9, queen over here. So now you're going to do this one more time, exact same thing. Riffle off 2 cards, catch a break, swing cut over some cards, drop those cards on top of that half, catch another thumb break, triple undercut the bottom half to the top, just like this. Boom, and there is your third 9. Now you're going to do another double lift because you have another queen over here, so just do another double lift. Take the top card, which is a queen, set it on the table, and now you have all 4 9s here face down on top of the deck. And your last queen is actually just right here on the bottom. And this is the easiest part of the trick, even though you're going to say in the dialogue, you're going to say, well, this one is actually the hardest part. But this is actually the easiest because all you're doing is you don't have to riffle up 2 anymore. That was a little bit awkward, but now all you have to do is just pinky count that bottom card, just like that. And now you have that card with a thumb break, and do the exact same thing, just cut off about half the cards, drop that card on that half, and then just like triple or double undercut that card to the top. And you're going to say queen. And now you don't have to do a double lift here because this is just a single card. Because you didn't riffle up 2 cards from the back, you only did 1. So that's why this is a single card. What I like to do for a little bit of a magician fooler is I like to take this queen and I kind of just fake push off this card for a fake pinky break, but I don't actually keep one. I set it on top. And what I do is I actually pretend that I'm flipping over a double lift. Like this is how I normally flip over a double lift, by going from the side, flipping it over, but in reality, I'm just actually like literally flipping over a single card. Like all I'm doing is this, just flipping over a single card. To the magician, it would kind of look like I'm doing a double lift, but in reality, I'm not even doing a double lift. And that is perfect, like, magician fooling for this next part, because what you're gonna assume to do is do a double lift, set the top card on the table, and say, well, now I can wave my hand over and change it into the 9. If a magician is watching you do this, they're gonna assume that you did a double lift, and then they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's obviously the 9, because you did a double lift. But when you flip this over to be the queen, they're gonna be like, oh, you didn't do a double lift. And that will kind of like throw them off for a second. So before you even do anything, I actually kind of went ahead of myself there. So do a fake double lift. I just do a fake double lift, just flipping over a single card. set it on the table. Before you do anything here, all you have to do is give these cards a turnover pass. So just get about half the cards with a break, just like this, and you're going to turn over pass the cards just like this as you set them on the table. So how you're going to do this is you're going to take your index finger, place it underneath just like this, and you're going to be taking the bottom half here, lifting it up just like this, and your index finger is curled underneath so that you can lever those cards over. And now, as you're in this T sort of position, looks like a T, or an upside down T, just like this, you're going to take this half and actually completely just turn it over. Just completely take it and turn it over as you keep levering this pack over. So this was like this. You're going to continue to do it until it's like this. So continue to do that, but when it's in this T position, start to rotate this pack over, and now you just set the entire pack down on the table. What you've done is just invisibly cut the cards, and it just looks like you're taking the cards, setting them on the table. But now you've taken those 4 9s that were on the bottom, and you've just cut them into the middle of the deck. So that will just add to sort of the mystery of the trick right there. So keep that squared up because you don't want to reveal the triumph part yet. So now they think this is like the queen, or if a magician is watching, they think this is the 9. But you're gonna wave your hand over it, do some magical gesture, snap your fingers and be like, boom, the final 9? Oh, wait, never mind. Instead, and then reveal these 3 cards. Instead, I actually turn these 3 cards into the queens. And at this point, the spectator's gonna freak out. They're just gonna be like, whoa, what the heck? And now you're gonna take it up just another level and say, remember the deck that was shuffled face up into face down? If I snap my fingers, they all go back to normal, except for the 4 9s. And that is just the ultimate kicker ending right there. One of my favorite card tricks at the moment. One of the best card tricks ever created. So hopefully you guys really like the trick, and see you guys for my next video. Bye.